Eric, what have you seen? I know today's the first day you got pads on, you've been with some contact, and in particular, maybe what do you feel like you have in a couple of smaller but maybe more elusive and explosive backs in Sean Shivers and Jalen Rose?
Yeah, I think we're still finding our way with our group, without a doubt. I think certainly Sean's got some quickness, got some strength. So does Jalen Lucas. Both of them have had their stuff. Every back is known for something. I always train, have continued to train, and will train every back that I've been with forever, trying to get them better in all three phases: running, catching, and blocking. And catching includes your route running. It also includes catching the ball. So I think as a core group, that's the challenge I put out to them, so they can be hopefully three down backs. That's the ideal. And so I think those guys, along with some other guys, have really come on and done some good things.
You mentioned Jalen Lucas. I guess just to elaborate a little bit more on what you've seen from him so far. Coach Allen's mentioned a lot about his speed, his burst.
Yeah, he's got a lot of burst. He's got good quicks. Really comes along, really coming along well. He's a young player, as always with young players. There's a lot of stuff that you love, and there's some stuff that you know you have to get corrected, and that's what I'm going to try to make sure I do. He is good out of the break. He's had good hands. He understands the concepts. He's always, like younger players, has to work on the concepts more. That's just the way it goes. The terminology that we use is going to be different from what he used in high school, as it is with all the young backs that we have. And you'll find out, and I find out, with every young back, the more they understand it, the faster they'll play. And then they'll sound different, but they have to learn sometimes to slow down. If you play too fast, it hurts you, because you can't set your blocks into passes, and sometimes you can't set your release lanes for your passing game. So eventually they're going to go. We'll try to get them to play faster, and then as they progress longer, you try to slow them down so they can get to the tempo of the game, and then they'll know when to speed up and when to slow down.
Coach, you've been doing this a long time. I'm curious if you developed a preference for like rotating backs throughout a game, or focusing on one guy, and also, having a first and second down back and a
Right.
third down
Mm-hmm.
back.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you stand philosophically, or is it just all personnel?
I really think it's a lot personnel driven. As I think that as far as how much for each back, that's yet to be determined, because obviously the head coach has got to be the last guy who signs off on everybody, and then our coordinator Walt Bella and I and all the assistants will have that talk. Whoever we deem is going to be the first guy out our first week, how much they're going to play. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. Sometimes you rotate, sometimes you go by play, play counts. I've had all types. But in the preseason, the truth is, on every single team I've ever been on recently, I worry about group development. I don't worry about who is the guy, if he walks out first. If he's the third guy, I want to coach from the top to the bottom, because I know that there's a chance that sometime every guy that doesn't walk out there as a starter has to be prepared to be ready to play. That's what I've learned.
Jim? Coach, a lot of new faces on this, whether it's talking player personnel or coaching personnel, quarterbacks, running backs. Obviously, that has to be a great relationship. Multiple quarterbacks right now until that is named. How has that been? Have you seen cohesiveness there, and what has that been?
Well, it's always different, and like you're saying, a little bit different. Every quarterback's got his style. Every back's got his style. So the bottom line is, the best thing I can say is, I tell the guys, we're trying to solve a puzzle, and what we're going to do is do our part to solve that puzzle by, you're going to do, hopefully, exactly what I tell you to do. And eventually, you're going to be able to create your own puzzle, create your own style, because as I've told the backs forever, if all you do is do every single thing I do, or you never do what I do, there is a problem there. Eventually, to get that puzzle right, I'm going to give you the directions, I'm going to tell you your keys, and then you are going to put the individuality that you have, that you bring to the table to make the game right. So in other words, I don't want to coach a robot, and I certainly don't want to coach someone who never listens. Here's how you do it, and Sean will run a play slightly different than another back, but at the end of the day, understand the core of the play.
Jack? Coach, just with so many new faces and this being your first year, I'm guessing there are some challenges like getting things started right away, but do you find there to be any benefits of having a clean slate for not only yourself, but, kind of everyone in the room?
I think for sure for the backs that'd be true, and I think that's true of any team everywhere I've gone. What I told the guys when I first came here is, you certainly don't know me, and I don't know you. So if you were All-American last year, since I had been in the NFL for a long time, I wouldn't know. That's fine. I mean, don't take it personal. But whatever you did in the past, I don't really care. All I care about is what we're doing now for the present and where we're going in the future. And so obviously you want to look for improvement every week. That's what we're looking for. And so one of the things that I have always tried to stay away from as a coach is when I walk into a new place and everybody wants to tell me this is what this guy does and this is what this guy does. I don't care. I wash that out of my mind. It's a new slate. Let me see what you can do, and every back has something to work on. I've been around some really good backs. Been around a couple 2,000-yard rushers in the NFL, and every back's got something to work on. So I'm going to try to make sure we scratch, what's itching, and lift every back up to be the best they can be. Hopefully it answers your question.
Yeah, you mentioned Sean at the beginning also. What do you like about him so far? And obviously, like you said, everybody's got something to work on. What's standing out to you in terms of positive so far, and anything that you want?
One of the great things that college guys got to understand is pass protection. So, one, who to block. Two, how to block. And one thing he has shown time after time is he's done a very good job in pass protection. He knows where his assignments are. He knows when to get out. Rhythm and spacing, specifically for the backs and the tight ends in every offense, is key. And I think I've been really happy about that. And oftentimes, the running takes care of itself. So he's got very good ability to stretch the field along with cutting and getting north and south. And I think that's some of his attributes that we like. And as with everything, he's going to continue to work on it. He's going to continue to be in the right place at the right time, because trying to find a way to be able to hand him the ball and throw him the ball, and the other backs in there.
Anything else for Coach?
Real quick, I just want to go back to Jalen.
Sure.
Are there any sort of particular, you just mentioned just picking up concepts, I mean, is there anything, in what ways, I guess, he advanced, and what are the things that he still has to pick up?
Well, I think one of the things that he's done a really good job, he's worked on it a lot. I continue to tell all backs, work on your catching, work on your hands. Because again, a lot of backs that come out of high school, oftentimes they're runners. They very rarely have a really sophisticated pass protection thing. That's always new. Every young back has to go through that. But I think that one of the good things he's really worked at is making sure he's catching his hands. He's putting his ball in the hands of the quarterbacks and by the jugs. He's done a really good job with that. Route running is something unique. Because I've been in various rooms, I kind of know how people think, and I know where you need to be to catch the ball. And so he's really picked a lot of that up. But like a lot of young players, I got to see that he's consistent with that. Like I said, all the young players, it's always hard to find the young players to be consistent. That's just in general. That's not him. That's just players in general. But I keep improving, keep trying to get better, keep the good, and let's lose the bad. I try to continue to work on those guys at that, and then get them confident so they're not afraid to play. I don't want any back ever afraid to make mistakes. They got to wash that out of their minds, go out there, play, attempt to win.